Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I was going to talk about one of my favorite subjects as a doula, and it's all about comfort tools and comfort measures that we use in labor a lot before we may want something. We may be wanting an epidural, but these are things that from that 0 to 6 centimeters when we really recommend you stay home, because before that you're not in active labor. Then these are the things that you can rely on. Just in my case, I am wanting to have them until the baby is here. I wanted to start by just talking a little bit about visualizing the birth and envisioning the kind of experience that you want to have and how important that is. Really either writing it down or talking about it a lot or going over it in your mind before bed and right when you wake up in the morning is the best time for visualizing your dream birth. And yes, I do think everyone should have a dream birth. Things aren't going to go to plan. We all know that. We can't predict birth. We can't control birth, but we can visualize the kind of birth we want to have because our brain loves anticipation. So it loves helping us achieve our goals. I'm just going to read a little bit from my computer. So visualizing or mental imagery is a valuable tool in neuroscience because it activates similar brain areas as actually performing the action, enhancing both physical and mental performance. This phenomenon, known as neuroplasticity, allows the brain to recognize itself by forming new connections based on imagined experiences. By visualizing, individuals can strengthen neural pathways, improve motor skills, and even manage emotions. So visualizing is so much more than just visualizing a dream birth, but it is also helping to reduce fear, anxiety, and helping to promote feelings of safety. And so yeah, visualizing is a very powerful tool in any kind of birth that you may be having. It could be that you're having a C-section and just visualizing somewhere positive or just somewhere that makes you feel really safe. If you don't really feel safe in an operating room, that your mind can go to really scary places, but that you always have this visual of a safe place to be. So yeah, I'm going to take you along on what I'm envisioning for my birth and show you the different tools that I have. So the first thing I'm hoping for is that I get a good night's sleep, as good as you can get in the final days and weeks of pregnancy. But that I wake up in the early morning hours feeling some of these sensations, contractions in my low front abdomen, similar to period cramps. They're mild, but they're there. They're coming maybe every 10 minutes. I'm not feeling any in my back. Maybe I'm feeling them in the front and maybe they're kind of moving towards my back, but they're primarily starting in the front. And this can tell us a lot about baby's position in labor as well. So if you're having a lot of contractions or sensations in your back, that could be a sign that baby is in a posterior position with their head against your spine. So that is usually a much longer, much harder birth. Definitely possible, unmedicated, medicated, all the things. Babies will come out all different ways, but usually that can be a kind of hint that, hey, baby's kind of got their back towards your spine. That's why there's a lot of pain there. And it could just be harder to manage. So we really want to start by getting that baby in a good position before birth. Today I'm 36 weeks and tomorrow I'm going to the midwife to find out his position again and do the different kind of scans that they do. But I'm really excited because I think he's really laying with his left, his back is on my left side, which is where I want it to be. But sometimes I think his back is actually in the hammock of my belly, so that his head is pushing my belly button out and he's looking at my spine, if that makes sense, which is an even more ideal position. But I'm trying not to hope too much for it. But if I feel like right at my belly button, it's like really, really hard. And that's where I'm starting to feel the hiccups more too, not only on the left side, but more like in the middle of my abdomen. Because again, he's having hiccups still 4 times a day. But yeah, so that's what I'm envisioning, is that the surges, contractions, sensations are starting in those early morning hours. They're very far apart. They are very manageable at this point. This is one of the times, really all of early labor, is you just want to distract and keep yourself busy and ignore these sensations as much as possible. So I'm not going to fixate them. I'm not going to time them. I'm going to go out for my walk, my daily walk. And yeah, walk for a while, that however feels good. Come home, I feel that they're a little stronger. I let my whole team know, like, hey, so this is what's going on. I don't know if these will stick around or if they'll disappear, but just a heads up that, you know, things are feeling stronger now after I went out for a walk. After that, the also most important thing to do in early labor is distract, but also eat and rest. So come home, eat a really good meal. I always wake up and eat my oatmeal. So I'll usually do that. I'll eat my oatmeal, go for my walk, and then I'll come home and then eat something again and then go rest. So when I go rest, I'm going to use my heating pad. So the heating pad, anytime, any kind of heat, hot water bottle, whatever you have, but warmth is one of the biggest things that can really help distract, and help a menstrual pain as well. So I'm going to put that in my low abdomen, hopefully, and have the heat there while I have my leg up on this peanut ball. There's this round one that I do a lot of movements on right now, doing a lot of hip circles and moving my hips just in all types of ways. And also if I'm going to sit for a little while, I'll sit on the couch for a little and then I'll switch to this ball just to keep changing positions for my pelvic floor. But this one is a really good peanut ball. They have them in most hospitals, so ask for that. If you're gonna I'm gonna just take a rest, I'm really tired, ask for the peanut ball, because putting your leg, like one leg is straight beside it and the other leg is up on top of it with your knee and your ankle in alignment, so your ankle's not like falling off the side or anything, because we want to keep the tension away from our pelvic floor, and this can help keep things in alignment. So I'll rest with my peanut ball, 45 minutes on one side, 45 minutes on the other side. And then I'm starting to feel like, okay, these are getting a little more intense. I'm gonna go take a shower. So after, again, heat is really helpful. I let my team know, of course, like, hey, I've rested, I've eaten, getting more intense, getting in the shower. I'm planning on doing a lot of hip movements in the shower, doing some squatting in the shower. I have this little step stool also that I can put in the shower, so I can just kind of sit there and just kind of have the water on my belly. In the meantime, my mom is getting food prepped. My husband is there if I need him, but really I'm just gonna try and just keep ignoring them like they're not happening, and we're just gonna go about our day as much as possible. So I'm still trying to ignore them. They're taking my attention more and more. After I get out of the shower, they're more intense. My birth team is on the way. And so the other thing that is really helpful at home is called a TENS unit. And a TENS unit stands for a transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulator. It's just like a small little device like this. This is the one I have ordered it off of Amazon like years ago, but I always had it to show clients. I was like, just get your own, because I don't usually come right as labor starts, and this can be really good to use before I get there, and also a good investment for life because they're good for migraines and muscle pains and all different types of things. So they're really affordable. But you put these little stickers like pads on your back or your belly. I'll probably put them on my back on each side of my spine. And whenever I'm not in water, I will usually probably have this on. So you connect it with these little, these little cords, and what they do is send electrical impulses to the area where these pads are, and it can be massage. You can choose different types of sensations on it. And so again, it's a distraction. These are all supported by evidence, all of these things that I'm showing today, but the TENS unit is really invaluable because it has gotten so many of my clients so much further in labor than they thought they could go, and kept them at home longer. And it's just been a lifesaver. So I'm like, I'm gonna have a TENS unit. So I'm using my TENS unit. I'm maybe having a heat pad on the front of my belly still. Feeling these cramps are still kind of coming and going. I'm up walking around, but now I'm gonna go sit on the toilet for a little bit. We call the toilet the dilation station in labor because it's where magic happens. It really, really is. Like, if you are not sure what to do, go sit on the toilet for a while, and try and rest your head on the toilet seat if you can. Our toilet, I don't think there's gonna be much room. So what I'm gonna do is have my feet on yoga blocks and make sure my knees are above my hips so that I'm in a deep squat. And what do we do when we sit on the toilet? We open our pelvic floor, we open our butt really, and relax that pelvic floor. And so when we do that, that really allows the baby to come down, and it helps us not fight the contractions as much. It can be a very intense position. My clients don't love that I suggest go sit on the toilet because it usually does not feel great, but positions that don't feel great in labor are usually very productive. So you want to try and get in at least 20-30 minutes there sitting and doing any type of position, like 30 to 45 minutes, and then change to help the pelvis shift and help baby navigate the pelvis. By this time, my team is there. I'm having a hard time. I'm starting to not be able to talk in between contractions. I'm more like really focused inward. I have my music on. Of course, music is a huge comfort tool in labor. So I have a calm playlist that I want to have up until I'm about 8 centimeters or before transition. And we'll talk about that more later. But these are things that in a physiological birth, you just have to see them to know when you're in that different phase of labor. But then I have another playlist that's for between 8 to 10 centimeters. And so around now, active labor, 6 to 8 centimeters, my team is there. I'm disassociating in between contractions. I'm really just trying to sleep and rest in between every contraction. It's the best way to save energy during labor. When the contraction comes, our number one tool is always going to be our breath, focusing on our breath. So my whole team is going to help me with my breath every contraction. And if I tense up, like, oh, I don't want to, like, I want people to remind me of horse lips, like, because that will also, when our jaw is relaxed, our pelvic floor is relaxed. So that will just kind of help open everything up. Because if we say a contraction is 1 minute long, a contraction builds in intensity. So it starts slow, 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 builds, and then it peaks for about 15 to 20 seconds, and then it comes back down. So that most intense part, that's where cervical change is happening the most. So that's where we want to be as not tense anywhere in our body, just as soft as possible. Just there's no wrinkles in my forehead. It's just super soft. My jaw's soft. My shoulders are soft. Everything is super soft. Another thing that could be really helpful and a great distraction, because people that are in active labor, they start wanting to do stuff like this, like hold on. Like, oh, it's coming. Ooh, they can still stay relaxed, but they got to hold on to somebody's hand, some kind of like, something. And then they just like are able to focus all their energy down and start using more of their vocals. It's another good sign for birth people, like, or birth support people, of like, oh, when you start seeing like they're trying to hold on, and that's when you're really like, okay, things are getting more intense. You're starting to hear the vocals change. I'm no longer breathing maybe calmly. I'm more making sounds, and we want these vocals to be low and like moaning downward, boo, rather than when a contraction comes, because that just releases all your energy and hard work up in the air. But when we go down like a cow, like mooing, like moo, that's really when we get or feel really good and supported through that contraction, and it's more manageable. So usually you'll start hearing that, you'll start seeing someone grip for stuff, and then we have our labor comb. So we're gonna hold that comb with every contraction because we have acupressure points in our hands that help stimulate our endorphins. So when we also squeeze this, not only is it a great distraction, but it also helps release these endorphin hormones that work together beautifully with oxytocin. Our main labor goddess hormone in labor is oxytocin. And oxytocin works with endorphins, which is kind of like when you feel it building up, building up, building up, building up. What happens when oxytocin gets really built up? It releases endorphins. And so that makes us feel kind of like high and feel good and relaxed. Those are the two hormones we want in labor the whole time up until pushing. So we're really working with our endorphins and feel good and feel safe and affirmations and make sure people are telling you how amazing you are and how strong you are and all those types of things, if that's something that you want. Some people are very internal and they don't want to hear any of that. But at this time, I'm not going to want any cervical exams from my midwives. If things are looking like they're progressing and feeling like they're progressing, then it's just going to be hands-off kind of a thing. And at this point, I'm going to try, getting in the tub for a little bit, seeing how that feels. Hopefully now these contractions are more intense. They're like every 2 to 3 minutes, lasting at least a minute and a half. And I'm going to get really hot when I'm in the tub. So what we have here is a fan that I bought that you can fill up with water, and they can just like spray me in the shower, or like while I'm in the tub, just kind of like a shower, like a cold shower. I also have some cold washcloths that I'm just gonna wet them and put them in the fridge so that people can just come and bring me these cold washcloths, maybe in an ice bath in the kitchen, and they can just go and restock the cold so that I can just kind of have a lot of cold washcloths on my face. My mom is bringing peppermint essential oil, which is really good for nausea. It's a very common thing, right? Things that are usually not normal in life, like being really nauseous and having lots of bowel movements, usually not normal, but in labor they're normal. So peppermint is really good for nausea, so I'll have some of that nearby. Some lavender can also be really calming and help different senses in the body be relaxed. And then I have one, in case contractions were to slow down or anything, then I have clary sage essential oil that can help uterine contractions. So that's just in case things stall or take longer, or for some reason my contractions stop, which again can be very normal in labor, that for some reason they just are like, oh, in the middle of labor, like they just stop. So by that time, I feel like now I'm feeling like my body's wanting to push. And so I'm actually going to get out of the tub at this point and go sit on the toilet again, because I really want to reach in and feel his head while he's descending under the pubic bone, because with the first baby, pushing can take time. And so one thing is, of course, it's a lot of positioning things we can do, but I want to really feel him, because as babies descend, they kind of come under the pubic bone, and you're pushing, your body's pushing, and then when your contraction's gone, they go back. And so there's this dance of rocking underneath the pubic bone for a while their head is molding to fit through the vaginal canal. So during that time, I am going to wait till he gets really low, to the point where he's no longer coming back, he's staying. And that's when I'm gonna go get back in the tub. I'm gonna get my husband in that tub, and I'm gonna get on all fours, and I'm gonna lean over the tub, and I'm still gonna be feeling him down there the whole time, and have like connection with him and talk to him. And you know, just really feel in that moment that we're working together. And then when his head comes out, the midwives are going to want to see that there's no cord around his neck, which is also a very normal thing. What they do is they usually kind of just take it from behind and they'll bring it forward over the baby's head. And at that point, the shoulders are next. So with the next urge of pushing that my body feels like doing, my husband's hands are going to go on his head, and I'm staying underwater for this whole thing. And so that when the shoulders come out, the whole baby comes out. So then my husband's going to catch him, because when you're on all fours, your baby's going to come out behind you. So my husband's going to catch him, keep him underwater, and then kind of bring him underneath my legs. And then I'm going to reach down and bring him up to my chest. So that's my dream scenario. And we will see what happens. But these are some of the tools that I'm going to be using. My balls I'm going to be using all the time in the shower. Like, I'm going to have my balls everywhere. But yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of how I'm visualizing, how I'm envisioning this baby, and just welcoming him into our lives. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Oh yeah, I should show my belly. 36-week belly. Oh, so here he is, my little baby boy. We're almost set on the name, but again, we're gonna wait till we see him till we decide, and so we'll be sharing that later. Okay, I hope you all are doing amazing, and I'll talk soon.